Hey there, Bracket Racers. Kyle Lueders here with the two brainchilds behind the Spring Fling brand, Peter Biondo, Kyle Seipel. We're here out at the track, and it's been a great day. But fellas, we're here to talk about the changes that are coming to these big races coming in 2017. And Peter, I want to start with you. The Spring Fling Million, first time out in Las Vegas. We had the Spring Fling Million. You've been out there before, but now we set up to pay some life-changing money, and we did that in 2016.
We sure did, Kyle. And you know, the West Coast races, Kyle and myself, our goal to bring this race, to bring this $1 million event out to the West Coast and give them a taste of what a real big money race feels like. And I think they got a pretty good taste of that. Last year was huge, and we're expecting bigger things for this year.
No doubt about it. And Kyle, I want to talk about the winner of the Spring Fling Million last year, Jeff Verdi. What a great story, man. Towing all the way to Vegas from Virginia, open air trailer. The Chevy truck broke down a couple of times. You can't get more American than that, brother.
Yeah, you got that right. Peter and I actually met Jeff through the Bristol Fling, and he made plans to come out to Vegas about 6 months prior to the event. He said, "You guys put on the best event there is in the whole country. I'm gonna support it." And he came out, and there was 40 different racers 40 different states are represented, Kyle, out there, and Jeff came all the way from Virginia. And he told Peter and I, if I'm going to come out there, I'm going to have a great showing. And sure enough, Jeff was the winner. There was 270 entrants. He won 270 grand all the way back to Virginia.
And Kyle, like you said, I mean, just the life-changing stories that came out of the Spring Fling Million in 2016. But Peter, you know, 2016 was a great year. Let's don't take anything away from that. But 2017, you've got some news that's in store for the race fans and the drivers out there that I want you to share, because, man, this is going to get even bigger this year.
Absolutely, Kyle. The West Coast racers showed up big. Kyle and I feel they're going to show up even bigger this year in 2017. And for the one big change we're going to make is we feel like that this race should be the biggest paying race on the West Coast and all throughout the United States every single day. So that $10,000 to win warm-up day racers is now going to be $20,000 to win. So that's one bump up that we did for 2017. And we feel like, I mean, the main event is that $1 million Spring Fling Million main event on Friday. And last year it paid Jeff Verdi $270,000. If we could get 130 more entrants in that main event, that's gonna pay the winner $500,000 this year.
$500,000.
$500,000, and that's what our focal point is this year. And if we could pay somebody $500,000 and everyone walks away with as good of a time as they did this year at this 2016 Spring Fling Million, it will all be good.
Great changes coming to the 2017 Spring Fling Million, Peter. Let's go ahead. You guys have solidified a date with the staff out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Why don't you go ahead and let the racers know now when they can start competing for the big money?
Yeah, the date is written in stone. We worked out a deal with what we consider the best facility in the country to do, the best venue to do a huge event like the Spring Fling Million, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and it's going to be April 11th to April 15th, 2017.
And that is Easter weekend for you race fans out there and the drivers. I think if we can get an extra 130 cars, we can pay $500 grand. That's a good Friday, right?
That's a realistic goal, and that could make for a very good Friday for somebody.
Coming over here to Kyle Seipel. Kyle, let's talk about the promotion here just a little bit. You guys are going to be doing some more creative things to help hopefully get those added entries into Friday's big money event.
Definitely, and just to touch on what you guys were just talking about, if we get 500 grand to win, 400 entries, that's not a good Friday, that's a great Friday, Kyle. We try to make this race as friendly for the racers as possible. There's going to be 3 weeks in a row. You can go to the Vegas National, followed by the Vegas Divisional, followed by the Spring Fling. So we have racers this last year travel from 40 different states. So it seems like a very common scenario for all the racers to make more than one race. So once again, it'll be the Vegas National, Vegas Divisional, Spring Fling Million. And from a marketing perspective, we're trying to get as many people as we can into that $1 million race. Once again, to try to pay out the $500,000. We're going to be doing quite a few raffles. That'll be anything from taking 40 drivers' names to 20 drivers' names for different dollar amounts. So we could try to get anybody that wants to race $1 million can get in for a very low dollar amount.
No doubt about that anyways, and that was one of the cool things. These guys do social media excellent. If you want to get into that big money race, there's plenty of opportunities. Be sure to check out Spring Fling Million and Spring Fling Bristol on Facebook. There's also BracketRaces.com on Facebook. You can get interconnected with us there as well too. Peter, any thoughts, any final thoughts on the 2017 edition that we haven't covered just yet? Because I know this was already a big event, and now you guys are just blowing the lid off of it.
Well, I will say this. I will say our goal, starting with this from day one, was to pay one racer $1 million. And we're creeping up to that point. I say creeping lightly. I believe we're going to get to that point pretty quickly. Like Kyle said, if we hit 400 cars, we'll pay $500,000 to one racer. Our ultimate goal is to pay $1 million to one racer. That's what this whole brand is and this whole concept is all about. And I believe we're going to get there someday, Kyle. We got a great running start in 2016. We're going to have even more races there in 2017, and we're on our way.
No doubt about it. Same question to you, Kyle. Any final thoughts? Any final little tricks in your bag there to get more racers into the million there on the Facebook and Twitter and whatnot?
Well, just like years past, Peter and I are going to be working hard as we can to make this event the best we can and try to get as much manufacturer support. And you know, our goal is to make sure that everybody that comes to our event is going to go home with either a round prize, winning prize, or any type of manufacturer giveaway. So we've been working very hard at that, and we'll be working very hard to meet that goal for next year.
Well, that's some exciting news about the Spring Fling Million out in Vegas, Peter and Kyle. But, you know, we haven't forgot about the East Coast racers. In fact, we've saved the biggest and best news, I would say, about 2017 for them and for this moment right now. Folks, we're telling you here, right here and now, the Spring Fling brand goes to a third event in 2017. It is going to be on the East Coast. It's going to be at Galot Motorsports Park in Benson, North Carolina. It's in the general vicinity of the Raleigh area if you're geographically challenged like myself. And Peter, when you were telling me about this event, I was getting more and more excited by the moment, and I know this means an awful lot to you and Kyle.
Without a doubt. You know, I'm from the East Coast, and I have a strong connection to some of these tracks, and I've been up and down the East Coast bracket racing for 2 decades now, and there's a huge following for our brand on the East Coast, and Kyle and I feel a connection with them, and we want to go to a third event. We want to make it so that we're paying out huge money at both the Spring Fling event and what's going to be a new name, the Fall Fling. So we're going to have a Spring Fling and a Fall Fling now on the East Coast.
All right, and real quick, let's talk about the payouts for those 2 events, because we're also going to see some increase there. So East Coast guys, perk your ears up. This is going to be big news as well. Yeah,
we're going to start by going from, we started with 15,000 to win, 20,000 to win, 20,000 to win, 20,000 to win. That's our 4-day East Coast Spring Fling. And now we're going to go to, the 15,000 stays the same, but that 20-20-20 is now going to go to 20-50-20, and it's all going to be guaranteed regardless of the car count.
Holy mackerel, a big pay bump here. A Spring Fling now down in the North Carolina state at Galot Motorsports Park. But as Peter kind of mentioned here, Kyle, we're not forgetting about Bristol. We're not forgetting about the baby here, the goose that laid the golden egg. We're still going to be racing at Bristol in 2017, but we're moving it and we're giving it a new name.
Yes, sir. It's the Fall Fling in Bristol. You know, we've been in the spring for 7 years now, and we talked to the racers. The racers said, you know, we love going to Bristol. It's one of our favorite events of the year. Is there anything that you guys can do about giving us some better weather? So here we are. We're going to move Bristol to September, and it's going to be a great time, and look forward to having everyone.
And no doubt about it, looking in that late September, early October corridor there, according to the Farmer's Almanac, or at least just what we're guessing, the weather should be a little bit better. Not that it's ever been terrible all the time, but a better opportunity to get a full event in.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Peter and I pride ourselves on giving our racers the best experience possible. And obviously one thing we can't control is the weather, but you know, Peter has looked at more charts than anybody I've ever seen. I think he's going to have a second part job as being a weatherman. But all kidding aside, it looks like September weather is going to be great, and we're looking forward to have everybody.
No doubt about it. So the Spring Fling brand moves to 3 events in 2017. And as we kind of wrap this up here just a little bit, Peter, being an East Coast guy, 2 races on the East Coast in 2017, increased purses, hopefully more manufacturer giveaways, because you and Kyle, I know, are going to hit the streets, you're going to hit the pits, you're going to hit the PRI show and make this the best you can make it. Talk about what this means to you, man. This has really grown quite a bit.
Beyond my wildest dreams, the Spring Fling brand has grown, and we have always wanted to go to a third event. but more importantly, the racers always show up big for our events. I mean, we've been to 7 years now in Bristol for the Spring Fling. We've had years of great weather and years of not so great weather, but the racers show up no matter what. So it was time for us to show up and bump up the purses and go to 3 events in 2017.
No doubt about that anyways. And coming over here to Kyle, you know, it's almost quite fitting that the original Spring Fling event is now going to lead the charge into uncharted territory, but I think it's safe to say it's going to be an awesome event.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, it's going to be 4 great days of racing. 15 grand to win the first day, the warm-up day, 15 grand once again, 20 grand, 50 grand to win, and another 20 grander to finish out what's going to be a great week in Bristol.
Wanted to just kind of echo what Peter said a little bit in the question I asked him. Did you ever think when you guys started this with that very first race in Bristol that it would ever grow to this?
No, I think Peter can attest that first year that we were bringing the banners down, we didn't know if we would have year 2, let alone year 8. But here we are. The racers have supported us, and we try to give the best brand we can for all of our friends and racers, for sure.
Well, no doubt about it, folks. In 2017, it's going to be a banner year. We appreciate your support in 2016, but next year we're bumping purses, we're adding more manufacturer giveaways, and we're adding a 3rd event, all for you. And folks, if you thought 2016 was big, 2017 will knock your socks off.